But what would happen? What would the fallout be from all of this? Sadly, he didn't know the answer. He was afraid to go to school tomorrow for fear that not only would it happen all over again, but that Valerie would realize how foolish it was to cry over a person like him, and she'd go back to ignoring Billy like she always did. He wished he had all the answers to life, but sometimes it felt like he didn't even know which questions to ask. Perhaps there was someone who did, though. Billy looked around his room at the TV sitting on his dresser, the mess of clothes spilling out of his laundry basket, and the pile of books overflowing on his shelf. Should he? Why not? He jumped off his bed and got down on the floor, reaching underneath it to where he had placed his birthday present from his grandmother, the Ouija board. He pulled it out, and still sitting on the floor, popped the top from the box and brought out the board and planchette, setting them down in front of him while tossing the empty box onto the bed. It came with instructions, and he scanned them briefly, catching the part where it said you were supposed to use it with 2 people, but ignoring that piece of advice because he didn't know any other people, much less someone he wanted to share his secrets with. He paused for a moment, considering what sorts of questions he would ask, and then decided to start with something simple, just to see if the darn thing worked at all. Billy closed his eyes and took a deep breath, imagining that somewhere out there a spirit waited to talk to him, someone who understood him, just like he always wanted. He placed the tips of his fingers on the pointer and whispered, "Hello?" No response. Maybe he needed to speak up. "Hello?" His bottom lip throbbed, and he thought for sure the Ouija board wasn't going to work. When all of a sudden, the planchette moved. Not a lot, but it moved. He wasn't sure if it was himself that did it, though, or if there really was a ghost on the other end of it. "Is someone there?" Billy asked, feeling his temples break out in a cold sweat. As much as he wanted to hear from someone, he was a little scared at the thought of talking to someone who was dead, or even worse, never existed at all. The pointer slid across the board, and this time there was no denying that it wasn't Billy who was moving it. Whoa! It landed on yes in the top right-hand corner.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.